this the best steering wheel you can get for your Xbox? We're going to find out today. It's the ultimate Moza R3 review. You will not see a better review on YouTube because we're actually going to build the thing and the Xbox is already on. So if you're thinking about getting one of these or you've already got one of these, it's going to be super helpful. This is the Moza R3 base. It looks a little bit like an old school Xbox, which I like, the OG, the Duke. And I want to just compare it with the Moza R5 so you can see how big the Moza R5 is compared to the Moza R3. The R3 is actually a 3.9 Newton millimeter torque wheel, so they could have really called it a Moza R4, but they called it a Moza R3. But anyway, we're going to put it onto this GT Mega wheel stand, which is quite a realistic setup for a lot of people playing on console. We're in front of a living room TV here, so I wanted to do it like that. I don't think you're going to be buying this and putting it on like a $2,000 sim rig. So what I've got in the box, I've got a spanner and a couple of bolts that will bolt that onto the rig. Got the power cable, the actual power brick here, and then we also have a clamp. This will clamp it directly onto a table. So if you don't have a rig, you can clamp it onto a table. We're going to go direct, but I'll show you that as well. And then the last thing is the Moza SRP Lite pedals, which I've already reviewed. And for some reason, they've come in this mad configuration here with them like all out to the side. So very, very interesting. You should note that if you get the Moza SRP Lite pedals, there's no specific or extra load on the brake pedal. It's the same spring, I believe, for both. But again, we're going to find that out. So this is the box it comes in. Nice little bit of Xbox branding around the place, but we don't need that because all we need to do is put our wheelbase onto this, and then we're going to put the pedals as well. Something goes clanking. Hang on a second. This is smaller than the Moza R5. So the Moza R5, if you can see here, sitting on my lap, has possibly a slightly different assembly. So I am going to need to do this properly. Cannot do this the lazy way around. So I'm going to have to get down and underneath it and see what holes we've got. Got my front two holes. But then I don't have the rear two holes. Tightening that, and let's see. Okay, there we go. So that is on with two, and actually because it is such a narrow wheelbase, I think that's going to be absolutely fine. So it made a bit of a meal out of that one that I didn't need to. Now, over many years of building sim rigs, I've amassed a load of nuts and bolts, and I think these ones are going to be exactly what I need. So just need to grab another one of those bolts, and I'm now going to put this through and bolt it. I'm actually going to do it the other way around, like this. Okay, there we go. Two pedals in, and to be honest, it's looking pretty good. So this one is going to go from the pedals into the back of the R3 base. I wonder if I've been a bit stupid here and if I should have done this. No, I haven't been stupid. I've been saved by Moza because they've done a little cutout on the side. Some pedals won't afford you that opportunity. Thinking about my Logitech Pro pedals or my Fanatec V3s. But Moza's all of it. So that's just gone in the back there. Pedals now connected to the base. And we're now going to connect the base to the power. So we've got the proprietary Moza power connector here, which goes in the back, obviously. Moza power connector goes in the back, clicks in. I do recommend doing it this way, by the way. I don't recommend it doing the other way, where you put it in the power first. I would put it in the power absolutely last. Okay, last thing, this is going to go into the Xbox. This is a moment of faith because I'm going to unplug something that I don't know what it is. But there we go. Unplug something from the front of the Xbox. And now plugging that back in. And now going to plug this into the Moza. And believe it or not, ladies and gentlemen, we are basically there. We are basically there. So it's actually not a lot of faff. I know you love seeing this. By the way, this is the optimal time to hit that subscribe button if you're not subscribed. But I know you're subscribed because I know you want to see more top quality reviews like this. And the only way to guarantee you're going to see them is by subscribing. So I know you're subscribed already. Just make sure that we get the quick release right. There we go. Okie dokie. Now I'm going to move my seat around because I'm playing it on a little setup like this. It's not ideal. I know it's not ideal. And in fact, I really didn't think that through. But, so the ergonomics do leave a little bit to be desired here. I'm very much fumbling around in my thighs. But, moment of truth. Let's press the button, which I presume there is in all Moza ones. Yes, a single button on the back. Here we go. Oh, you've got something else in your shot there. Look at this mysterious stuff moving around. Isn't it crazy? I hear something. There are some lights. Can you see the lights? And in fact, something happened with the car there. Is it going to automatically detect it when I press the Xbox button? Let's see, Xbox button on. Ooh, wow, would you look at that, automatically detected. Is it going to work off the bat? That would be crazy because it would actually be crazy if it works off the bat. Oh, it does. We are going, I haven't got automatic gears. I haven't got manual gears, sorry. Look at this. How do you change view in the crew? I forget. Is it on the D-pad? It's on the D-pad, isn't it? I can't remember how to change view, but we are racing in the crew on the Moza direct drive wheel. Obviously, if I had more time, I would move this wheel stand up a bit and have the ergonomics. I will say something that, look, a lot of sim racery people, and I have a very expensive rig with expensive pedals and everything, they'll be like, oh, there's no load cell on this, and you can't get the feeling of the brakes. This is a very different experience having no resistance on the brake pretty much. And I think it's absolutely fine for arcade games. I think it's absolutely, almost ran over something there, absolutely fine for kids. If you want to do something like ACC on your Xbox, that's going to be different. But if you want to play Forza Horizon, if you want to play The Crew like I'm doing now, and we're going to show you some other games, I think this is going to be absolutely fine. So let's get out of The Crew. Let's see what else we have installed on our Xbox. Project Cars, such an underrated game, man. Let's do it in... Okay, let's do it in caterhams. That seems quite appropriate with the seating position. And this is going to be a real test of the brake, because like I said, no loads on the brake. It's the same spring in both. However, I can tell you that Moza do a brake modification kit for the SRP light pedals because I've actually installed it on my other SRP light pedals. But I would really think about doing that because if you're going to be on carpet, it's going to add a load of resistance that you might not want. It's going to slide along. You can see here, they're barely bolted on, but there's basically no movement that I'm worried about, which is great. Whoa! I've already got a drive-through penalty, but look at this. Playing on an Xbox Series S, by the way. Whoa, we've got some wobble. We've got some wobble. I've already earned my rookie. Oh my word. It's shaking my rig apart. This is, I was thinking for 3 Newton meters. Now Project Cars 2 was notorious for having this wheel wobble. So you can imagine if we were on an even more powerful base. But, come on, cater him, come on, take a shortcut, drift in it, yes, no, All right, so there we go. Project car. Oh, there's a little catering around the corner here. Okay, so Project Cars 2, notorious for the wheel wobble. Let's go on to something else. What else do we have? Burnout died way too soon. Man, this is bringing back my childhood. I never had a wheel growing up. So we'll have to make sure that we don't get demonetized. The absolute iconic start to... Right, this one is actually not picking up the wheel, I think. I don't think Burnout Paradise is picking up the wheel. Yeah, wide switch profile, so... Oh, hang on, has it? Has it? Hang on, bear with me. No, I think it's doing a thing. Right, let's get out of that before we get demonetized. Direct drive wheel. Look how tiny. Look how tiny it is. So I wonder, is the D-pad? These face buttons are working. There's also RT and LT on the wheel, so you can drive the triggers on the wheel. And the D-pad is work. This is why I think I can't change camera. I think the D-pad is mirroring the thumbstick, if that makes sense. So there will be a way, no doubt, to change that sort of configuration so you can have the D-pad actually mirroring the D-pad. So right now, I can actually just drive the car without using the pedals or using the wheel, like movement, which is quite interesting. Some wheels skimp out. They won't do an RT and LT button because they're like, it's already there. But oh man, there's quite a lot of swaz you can get on this wheel. Look, I think the wheel rotation is quite short. You can see that the amount of steering input I'm making is having a wild effect on the Aston Martin. So again, there will be a way to increase that wheel rotation, which I would recommend doing, because Moza wheels actually, if this is like the other ones, have unlimited wheel rotation. They will just spin around and around and around and around. And I think that's something to do with like pressing some hotkeys. Why don't I actually have a look and see if I had any instructions in here? Okay, so I've logged into my wheel using Bluetooth, and I can see now that the wheel angle was 90 degrees, I think, which is very small. So I'm not sure why it comes with 90-degree rotation. That's absolutely tiny. I put it to 540 for the max limit and the max steering angle. Again, I don't know why there's... I think the max limit is your absolute limit it will do before it stops. And then your steering angle. I've done it the same anyway to 540. So we've got that. Are we ready, everyone, for some Dirt 5 on the Moza R3? Let's see what it's going to be like. See the wheels moving? Whoa. Okay, we got some quite nice force feedback on this. Look at this. Oh, I'm still getting used to this brake pedal. That's more of a button. But I have to say, this is a really good experience. It's shaking my little rig around as well. This is actually ridiculous. Like, just how cute a setup this is. I don't know why I'm instinctively doing gears. Whoa, there is some decent force feedback in this thing. Come on, drift it. Drift it. Oh, I just hit the inside. This is a really satisfying. This is miles better than any belt-driven or... Oh, I've gone straight off. Belt-driven or gear-driven wheel you're going to get. I have to be honest. Like, this is a different class. And the only unusual thing about it is that brake pedal with basically no resistance. So if this is going to be a gateway to sim racing, that is going to be a big change if you go from that sort of brake pedal here to a load cell. But if you just want to have some fun, you can do it. I'm going to try and actually see if I can modulate the brake a little bit. Actually, yeah, you can modulate it. You just need to be a little bit aware of how little pressure it needs. Tell you what, I started this race decently, but now we're all over the shop. But yeah, there's some very good force feedback in this game. There we go, up the inside, just kissing the inside. Get on the power now, control it, control it. Yes, flick it, flick it, flick it. Get on that power a little bit too much. This is a tight corner, isn't it? Yep. On the brake. Power, 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 power. Can we catch up with these drivers? Again, it's like a little hairpin. Hold it. Ah, damn it, come on, come on. Because the weather's changing. Just tugging it around the inside, grazing that wall, into the mud, just kissing that barrel on the inside. Ah, damn it. Sometimes I just end up getting a bit too much. Steering lock. We're on the last lap, everyone. Oh, come on, come on, come on. On the brake. I see there's a Renault R5 up there. Trying to modulate that throttle. Oh, look at that. Look at that. Very nice. And I could really feel, there we go, we're mixing with them now. I could really feel the force feedback sort of letting me know that I was on the limit. That was a nice moment, that corner. That you wouldn't be able to get that sort of consistency of feeling on a belt-driven or gear-driven wheel. No way. This must be the finish. It must be the finish. Oh, it's a P3. Okay, that was actually really good. Now I want to go back into another game and see what it's like with this wheel rotation. So definitely change the wheel rotation from default. There we go. Are we going to get any of that wheel wobble? And we don't so far. So I reckon that was a weird thing. Oh, there's a little bit now, but it's not as much as before. It's not as much as before. Whoa, 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 whoa. Came steaming in there. But Project Cars 2, again, is not as something is not quite intuitive here, have to be honest. You can see that it's very, very, very sketchy for me to just actually sort of drive in a straight line here. We are on the manual gears, into the hairpin. And I don't feel like, when I was in Dirt 5, I felt like as soon as the engine started, I was getting some consistent force feedback. Here, it just seems to be like it's replicating a gamepad or something. So I'm basically not getting any force feedback, meaningful force feedback through the corners. Look at this thing. I've been asked to slow down. Aqua Minerale. It's real. One of my friends in real life drives one of these cars in the championship. Let's just scoot over the chicane here to get in the mix. Whoa. Yeah, this is not as good experience as Dirt 5. But yeah, so something still to work out there. Let's go back quickly into the Crew 2. Right, here we go, everyone. We're back in the Crew 2 with the wider rotation, but as you can see, it seems to be very, very, very waggly. So let me go into the settings, actually, and see if I can work this out. I remember the Crew 1 was a little bit funny with wheel settings. So we've got wheel controls here, and the wheel range is 0, which doesn't seem too good. So I'm not sure why I cannot change. I'm not sure why I cannot change the wheel range here, but that's very, very, very weird. Very weird. up the force feedback. Yeah, so there are some things I think to work out with the settings. Dirt 5 was a really good experience. Project Cars 2 is quite an old game, was always a bit funny with inputs. That seemed a bit disconnected. And the Crew, even though I've updated it on the Bluetooth, the wheel rotation of this car, it does seem to be a bit different. Let me just double check. Connect to the device, completely remove that dead zone. And now let's see if that was the culprit. And it was the culprit. But again, it seems a bit waggly now. I don't know if every time I'm going back in, it's doing that. Enter the car. And again, I'm back at 90 degrees, so I'm not sure what's going on here. But I'm back at 90, but now I'm at 540. So this is the setting that you want. You want no dead zone in the Crew. And you want to have, I like 540, and you can see that finally, what happened there? You see that finally I'm actually driving normally, and this is what I like to do in the Crew, just sort of cruise around. Got my boost horn button. See if we can just weave through a bit of traffic. Oh! Through the middle. And again. In fact, there's a ramp here to get on a freeway. Let's do that. So this is actually quite a smooth driving experience. All of that squeaking you can hear is from my rig here. So these are the settings. You don't want to have 90 degrees. You want to have 540, even 1080 if you're driving a truck or something like that. And now I'm in the car here. I think it's also reset my D-pad there, you saw. And just cruising around. So what I will do, I will let you know in the comments how to get the wheel to save the presets. I'm pretty sure if you connect it to a PC, you can save the presets in the Moza Pit-Out software, because that's what I do with my PC wheels. But once you get the settings right, really good wheel. If you don't get the settings right, it will feel like you're on a D-pad. So the settings are important here, and I will try and do my best to demystify that for you. But hopefully you've enjoyed this ultimate review of the Moza R3, which is the Xbox rim. You have this 4 Newton meter, 3.9 Newton meter direct drive wheelbase, and you have the Moza SLP like pedals. Super easy to put on, super easy to connect. There we go. Please hit a like and subscribe. Let me any comments you got in questions in the comments, and I'll see you next time.